What's going on, everybody? This is Over the Road Driving with Steve, also known as the Flying Smurf. So today I want to cover a couple of things that have come up. First thing, I'm not being paid. I'm not being paid by GP or anybody else to do these videos. I don't have a sponsor. I'm not sponsored by anyone. Honestly, I'm not sure I'd even want that. Just looks like a bit more work than what I want, and a bit more of a hassle. You know, as far as driver referrals, most companies have that program to where if you get a driver to come to your company or whatever, you'll get some kind of a bonus or something. GP is no exception. We do have that, and I do put that in the description, the link, if you decide to give GP Transco a try because of what I've said in any of my videos, my driver reviews or anything else. It's not why I'm doing these videos. It would be great to get it, sure, but if not, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. It's not why I'm doing this. I'll get into that a little bit later on, as to why I'm doing these videos. But something else came up, and that was the mileage for GP. So for has doubts, that's my hours of service tablet, and this is a breakdown of my mileage. Okay, now I came off a 34 on Sunday, which doesn't show up there, it already dropped off. So I started the week fresh on Monday with a fresh 70. You know, there they are. Let's add them up. Monday 520, 662, 678, 585, 216, and 541. Okay, comes out to 3,200 and change. Now let me drop this down here. If you actually, oh, I got my 34 in here because it's now Sunday. Crap, I wanted to show that actually. But when I actually started my 34, I had 13 hours left on my 70. Some drivers might say, "Oh, you took a 34 with 13 hours left. That's kind of wasting your hours." You know, pardon me there. I'm trying to fix the camera. I mean, I guess I can't show it because it's already dropped off. I guess if anybody doubts it, if anybody wants to doubt my integrity or think I'm, bullshitting, I'll be more than happy to prove it. The previous week I had 4,059 miles. This week I got 3,200 miles. Was pretty happy with that, and here I was on the yard. Sure, could have done another load, which would have got me a jump on next week, but honestly I'm not really overly concerned with it. Why not take a 34 now? Here I am on the yard, get my laundry done, take a break. So yeah, looking at those mileages, if you have a question about that 216 mile day, it's a light day. I picked up a load in Munster, Indiana, going into Minnesota. Really super light load, 12,000 pounds total. Ran it out there, okay. Drove the hours I typically like to drive. So I was within 27 miles of the first stop, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, shut down. The delivery wasn't until the next day at 8 a.m. So again, some drivers might be like, "Oh, that's a long break," blah blah blah. But again, I knew I was going to break the 3,000 mile mark, which is kind of my goalpost per week that I like to shoot for, and I knew I was going to break it, so it wasn't that big of an issue. Sometimes a long break, it can be pretty nice. So, I got going the following morning about 7 o'clock in the morning. I like to be a little bit early for my appointment times. I don't like starting that late in the day. To me, 7 a.m. is late in the day. I like to start 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? But I couldn't do that because of the, delivery appointment. So I got going, drove the 27 miles, made the first delivery, was there for, this is an appliance load, okay? I went a little tiny appliance place, and they're using hand carts and stuff to unload this stuff. It takes a little while. I think I was there, because I was there early, I think I was there right around 2 hours. Okay, but right at 8 a.m., my appointment time, they dropped the dock plate, started unloading me. Those guys are usually pretty good. Got out of there, drove up to my second stop, which I got paid $35 for the second stop, so that was nice. But again, another right around 2 hours, right? So by now it's 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and now I'm empty, okay? My next pickup is a little bit further north, up in Renville. The weather has not been nice in Minnesota today. The roads were a little slick in the morning, but, of more concern was the high winds. 40, 50 mile an hour winds, and the gusts, I don't even know, but I know it was pretty hairy. So I was taking it pretty easy all that day, and then empty, and the further north I went, I was taking it pretty easy. I pissed some grain haulers off on my way up there. I know I did. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm in a dry van. I get blasted with a gust of wind, broadside. I'm not going to be that guy laying over on a side in the middle of the road or in the ditch or anywhere else for that matter. So, yeah. So I got to my next pickup, okay, which was coming back here to the yard, which I knew I was going to be here on Saturday. Okay, which our pay period ends on Saturday at midnight. Okay, but I was going to be here early Saturday afternoon at the latest. Okay, could have been here a little earlier. But so I did the pickup, got scaled out there, and was like looking at things. I was like, man, I'm going to get 32. Why push it today, right? It's late in the day. I had enough hours. I could have gotten around Minneapolis. And got a little bit and got my miles in for that day, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I was coming here to the yard, like I said, from the pickup to the delivery. I think it was 5:50 or so. So I couldn't have done it in a straight shot right from the pickup, because I had already driven at that point 214 miles, I think. So I wasn't going to make it all the way to the yard. If I could have made it all the way to the yard, I probably would have done it, right? But I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I was going to, I could have pushed it and then been looking for a place to park at 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I don't particularly care for doing that. So the weather was a little rough. I knew I was going to get my miles in. Said to hell with it. Let's have a light day. We'll run this to the yard tomorrow. And I'd already discussed it with my driver manager, my DM. He left it up to me. He's like, I can, we can definitely do another load if you want. It's up to you, man. And I was, I was looking at it, and I was, that was when we went over the mileage, and I was like, well, shit, man, we did good this week, 3,200 miles. I'm going to be in the yard. Let's just go ahead and reset right there and start over fresh on Monday morning and do it all over again. Why not, right? So there's your answer to that mileage thing, I guess. I guess if you're the type of person to be like, you could think, oh, this guy must have just had a stellar week, and oh, let's do a video how great it is. I guess you could think that if you want. Go ahead. That's up to you. Yeah. As far as, I've talked to X amount of drivers, and they say they're not getting the miles. Well, let's talk about that for a second. You can run with that if you like. We're all big boys and girls. Make your own decisions based on your own research. The only thing I'll say about that is if you talk to 5 random people, from 5 random truck drivers from a trucking company, really stop and think about that for a second. Okay? What are the chances that those 5 people you're talking to are not the best truck drivers? Depending on the company, there's a good chance, right? Even a GP, I think, is a pretty good company, but I don't doubt you talk to 5 drivers that are bitching about their miles. However, I do doubt that all 5 of those drivers, the reason they weren't getting the miles was because of GP. I think, dare I say it, I've said this before and I'll say it again, your miles will depend, how many miles you do in a week will depend mostly on you, the driver. Okay? And I think that's actually kind of true for most companies. All right, now I'm not saying there's not companies out there that don't give you the miles, because there are. I've worked for them, one of them. I'll talk about that in a second. But if you want the miles, they're there, and if you can do the miles, you'll probably get them. They're, not every week is stellar. I'm not making that claim, but for sure, dude, I did 4,000 miles last week and 3,000 miles this week, and the 4,000 miles, while isn't a typical thing, 3,000 mile weeks are. Okay, they sure are. The 4,000 mile weeks, you got to start your week. I usually, to get it, my week will usually start on a Friday. I start with fresh hours. I pick up one kick-ass load, and then I get another kick-ass load right behind it, and you can get your 4,000 miles in on that pay period. Okay. Usually coming out of the house on a Friday is great. It's a great way to do that, to accomplish that, and get that, and start right off strong, right? But talking to truck drivers, man, go into a terminal, go into a truck stop where there's a lounge and there's truck drivers talking, and truck drivers, man, it's almost always a bitch session. Okay? And guys are always talking about the next best thing. Whenever a trucking company ups their pay or offers something new or does a gimmick or whatever, guys will pile on that like stink on shit. Now, the last few times I've been to the GP terminal, I've walked up there and walked into the lounge, and I've heard guys talking about going to other companies. I won't say anything about companies I don't know anything about. A couple of the companies these guys that I heard that were talking about going to, I don't know anything about them. I kind of doubt at least one of them is going to be even close to as good as GP. But in any case, I don't speak about places that I don't know anything about. But one of them I've heard a lot of guys talking about, because the company I actually came from to come to GP is K&B Transport. Now, I'm not going to completely thrash them, because you can do okay over there at K&B. But I got to tell you, even with they just recently upped their, not just their pay guarantee, but I think they upped their mileage too, to actually, seems like they're trying to compete with GP, which doesn't surprise me. I know when I left K&B, I wasn't the only driver at that exact same time that was leaving K&B to come here, to come to GP. There was a whole bunch of them that were leaving. Man, you need guaranteed pay over there at K&B, because if you get 2,500 miles in a week, you're doing really good. Okay, they micromanage the shit out of you. You don't take 34s with K&B. They run you deliberately so that you're never even in a position to need the 34. Okay, you'll get one crap load after another to keep you running. Okay, and you're not allowed, and unless it's some extraordinary circumstance. Okay, what did I work for him? A year and a half, something like that. I never took 134, not one. Okay, and it was one crap load after another, and one dock where I'm sitting. Like I said, I mean, I'd get loads that had 300 or 400 mile runs, right? And then a 6 or 7 hour dock at either end, at the pickup and the freaking delivery. You're not getting good miles that way. So if you're wanting to know about miles, okay, mainly because they haul reefers over there. Okay, reefer freight is notorious for being slow docks, notorious for that. The other thing is they do a lot of relay loads over there. Almost every load that I got that had miles on it, I ended up driving it 300 or 400 miles and then giving it to another driver and then taking some other load. Okay, they micromanage the crap out of everything over there. You don't get to take 34s. And you need the guarantee pay, because you're probably not going to get the miles to beat the guarantee. Now, I don't know what it is over there. GP has a guarantee. I've never needed it here, because I always make more money than what they're guaranteeing. Always. unless it's a home time week where I only ran a couple days, but then you're not eligible for the guarantee anyway, which I kind of bothers me because that's when you kind of need it, but I get it. So, yeah, on paper it sounds great. Like these guys that are wanting to go over there to K and B, it sounds great. Okay, I don't think they don't realize what they're getting into, and well, that's a shame, right? I was miserable over there because I'm a truck driver. Okay, give me a truck, I want to drive it, I want to go, I want to pick up loads and deliver loads. I don't want to sit in docks for sometimes 8, 9, 10 hours a day or longer. And that's what it's like. I don't know about other reefer companies. I would guess it's the same, because when I was with K&B doing those deliveries, there'd be plenty of other companies in those same docks with me for the same amount of times. So reefer freight, I don't mean to knock it. I know there's some guys out there that like it, and that's cool, but know what you're getting into with that. But I went way off tangent here. My point is, when you talk to other truck drivers, you got to take these things into account. And you could say the same thing about me. I guess I'm a truck driver just on YouTube, but there's plenty of other, for every bad review online for GP, there's probably 10 good ones. And I think the same applies to the people that are hearing from these drivers that they're not getting the miles, or the pay sucks, or whatever their problem is with GP. For every one of those drivers, there's a whole slew of us that are happy. Take it for what it's worth, and you make the decision. But don't come at me with, I don't think you're getting those miles, because that ain't true. I am getting those miles. I like to get those miles. I consistently do them, and I don't know. I just proved it. If you want, I'll post up the paycheck from last week to prove that I got the 4,000 mile week. If you'd like, the wife who uploads my videos, I'm sure she could stitch that in or whatever. Now, as for why I'm personally doing these videos, getting a driver referral would be great, but like I said, I don't really care either way. Even if you do want to come to GP and you don't want to refer me, I don't really care. Okay, it would be great to get it. It'd be like a little gift. Okay, great, awesome, glad I could help you out, glad you can help me out, win-win, right? If not, dude, don't hurt my feelings. I don't have any. Okay, I'm not doing this for that reason. It's there and it's nice. To be honest with you, I'm running out of things to do in my downtime. I can only watch so much TV or play so many video games, and because I run hard all weekend, I'm usually taking a 34. I got some downtime to do, and I started watching other YouTubers and stuff, and thought, that looks pretty cool. Why don't I give that a try? And I did, and I found I kind of liked it. It's something constructive to do with my time. I like helping people, and it's good to just talk. It's kind of a I don't want to say the camera's my little friend, but this OTR life in this truck out here can get pretty lonely. You can go nuts out here. So finding constructive things to do with your time is part of the gig. And I've done pretty good in the past with finding little hobbies and things that I can do within the confines of the truck or whatever. But I'm recently finding this, and I'm finding that I kind of enjoy it. That's the main reason. The other thing is the internet's a great tool to use. If more drivers were honest about the companies that they worked for, I don't think there would be as many bad companies left out there. And these bad companies are a problem for the entire industry. I don't want to get into that too much, but truck drivers there's a lot of problems, industry problems and carrier problems. This is a great tool to use to get those problems out there and maybe start working toward a solution, right? I don't even care. Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't mind pissing people off sometimes too. Like I did a video about flip-flops. I hope I piss those people off. I hope so. I hope somebody who does that crap watches that video and changes their behavior. Yeah. Basically, I'm bored. Basically, I'm bored of my downtime, and I think this is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else. Wow, I'm running out of shit to say. Can you believe that? Wow. I am pretty tired. Like, I've been running pretty hard. But that's good, because that's what we're supposed to be doing out here, to make the money. So, there you go, guys. There's my reasons for doing the videos. There's the fact don't have a sponsor. Put up the mileage. Think I'm done. All right, y'all. Be safe out there. As always, keep on trucking.